Good morning, everybody. I'm glad you made it today. And it's still another cold, snowy day here in my woods. And I don't know about you, but I'm super ready for winter to be over. So, just because it's been a long, cold winter. But as we both know, as we all know, there's a lot of benefits to winter as well. And one of the benefits that I talk to people about, the benefits of winter, is that it can exacerbate, hey Jody, nice to see you. It can make worse a lot of the things that we've been managing or controlling when we've been able to be outside and do things that are healthier for us. Hey Dina, nice to see you. So for me, the last few weeks, my husband's been gone. He's been traveling to Europe. And hey Claudia. And when that happens, I tend to fall back into some of my old patterns. And they aren't terrible patterns, but they're patterns of, sleeping too much, working too hard, eating the wrong food, and not pushing myself to be to a little bit higher level. And a lot of things slip because there isn't a reason for me to be on top of everything, because I kind of give myself a little bit of a break. But what happens is then all of the things, all of the patterns which I've struggled with are able to come to the surface. Hey, Lynn, and that's a good thing because in winter, it's a time for us to resolve the deeper things which we're dealing with and not just be able to skate over the surface like we might be able to at other times. And so one of the struggles that comes up for me is eating. When I was a kid, I dealt with a tremendous amount of anxiety. And because I was so anxious all the time, I couldn't eat. And so I got very used to, and my body got very used to kind of a catch as catch can sort of eating mentality. Let's say I wouldn't eat all day, but then maybe by 5 or 6 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night, I was finally hungry. And because I hadn't eaten all day, I, let myself eat whatever I wanted to. And that became a regular pattern. But a friend of mine brought out a really good point recently. There's someone who loves to make sure that they eat regularly scheduled meals. So they make sure they eat, as within an hour of waking up. They make sure they eat 2 hours later. They make sure they eat lunch. They have an afternoon snack, and then they have dinner. They remind me of a Hobbit. Did you ever watch Lord of the Rings? And they had, second breakfast. This is what my friend is like. And they pointed something out to me because I still, I get into the pattern of catch as catch can. And a lot of us women do. We eat in the car, we'll skip a meal, we'll make food for somebody else, but we won't eat ourselves. We'll be on really strict, weird diets. We'll substitute protein shakes for all sorts of things. And then we may overindulge with carbs or other things that make us feel better when we finally slow down and stop for the night. One of the reasons I wouldn't eat regularly was because I just didn't think I had time. I thought, I don't have time for this. I don't have time to make a meal. I don't have time to sit down and eat something. And as we've talked before, when we don't do things which are self-care for our body, we start to spiral down, and it affects mental and emotional health. My friend pointed something out very good. They said, you know what? When you don't eat on a regular schedule, your body doesn't know what to expect. And because your body doesn't know what to expect, it doesn't know when it's going to get fed next. It's going to start feeling anxious because it's always going to be thinking, am I going to get fed? Am I not going to get fed? How am I going to handle this? And then when you do finally eat, it doesn't know what to do with all that food. It's still sort of confused. Our body is very miraculous. It's very cool. And it likes some structure. It likes to know when it's going to be fed. It likes to sleep at the same time. It likes to have routine. It likes to have structure. And in the world that we're living in, I was taught that what I needed, what kept me healthy, came totally last on the list. My highest and main priority was to make sure that everybody else's needs were met. And then if there was time, then I would eat, or then I would go for a walk, or that's when I would meditate. I would put all of those things last. But this is something that you can start to change right away and make it really easy. I'm going to be experimenting and practicing with this. So I put on my calendar every day that I'm going to eat something at 8:40 because morning is one of my worst times to make sure that I eat something. And then every day that I do eat something at 8:40 in the morning, protein bar, shake, peanut butter on a cracker, whatever it may be, I'll take it off of my calendar. And we're going to see how that affects my felt sense. But knowing what I know about the body, when the body feels good, when it knows what to expect, just like a kid or a dog. Hey, Kellyanne. When it knows what to expect, when it has that structure, it can mellow out. It doesn't have to feel so anxious. So a lot of us are in toxic situations. We've got toxic relationships, toxic workplaces, or maybe we even feel really toxic within ourselves. We've got a lot of toxicity around us. And because of that, we need even more structure and more scheduling to make sure that we take good care of ourselves. Now, on the one hand, people look at massage and they look at, walks on the beach as something that's very pampering. And we forget that those sorts of things are really good for the body, because if our body breaks down, if you don't exercise, if you don't eat regularly, if you don't take those walks, then you can want to do as much as you want in your head and your emotions, but your body will break down. Your body will betray you, and it will start to make you feel anxious and depressed and frustrated and irritated. Because we're in these toxic relationships with people, we need to be more resilient. We need to be less affected by their energy, by their emotions. And the way we do that is by physically taking care of ourselves. So I want you to try this out with me. Hey, Kimberly, I want you to try it out. If eating is a challenge for you, let's say that you don't eat in the morning, or you only eat one meal a day, something like that. If eating is a challenge, I want you to put, maybe let's say for a week, having a regularly scheduled time. For me, as I said, it's going to be right after my live stream. I'm going to make sure it's going to be important to me that I eat something. And start with that and see if it starts to dial down your anxiety and some of your mental and emotional health issues. Wouldn't it be great if one of those small, simple steps of making your body feel more safe and secure helped you feel better? It doesn't have to be that you're broken. It doesn't have to be that you've got mental illness. It doesn't have to be any of that. So give it a shot. After we're done, I'm going to have one bite to eat, something small, but just enough to get me to tell my body, you know what, you can trust me. When we have schedules for ourselves, we build a level of trust with our physical self. And then we have one less inner conflict to deal with, so that when other people come at us with all of their toxicity and all of their anger and their frustration, it doesn't trigger ours, because we're in a more stable place, because our body's like, no, it's okay, I'm going to eat in 15 minutes, so it'll be fine. Our body is mostly worried about it getting its physical needs met. And if we don't meet those, then it's going to let us know, and it's going to make everything worse, okay? So here's your homework assignment for today. I want you to pick one time, let's say for the next week, where your body knows it's always going to get fed. It's going to get fed something. Hey, Aylette, nice to see you. One time, maybe put it on your calendar like I do, and let me know how it works out, because I really think this would be a really fun change. And if it's so easy to just eat something at 8:40 in the morning and then I feel better, why doesn't anybody teach us this stuff? Who knows? I don't know. But we've got to learn it now, okay? So, hi, Coruscant. I hope you have a great rest of your day, a great weekend. I want you to eat something at one time during the day, and I'll let you know how I feel on Monday, okay? Cool. And we have a narcissism series, before I forget. We have a narcissism series we're going to be starting on March 11th with a bunch of different experts on their different specialties on healing and narcissism and staying strong and staying, grounded in yourself and not letting it affect your health mentally or emotionally. And we'll be doing those 2 times a week at night, Central Standard Time. And they'll be interview style for 90 minutes, and we'll do them as live streams, and then we're going to culminate after 3 weeks with a big round table that we'll all be on. So I urge you not to miss it, or at least watch the replays, And I'm super excited to be diving into this topic of narcissism and self-care. Okay? Have a great weekend. Bye.